What's up, guys? We are Construct Paradise. I'm Matt. I play drums.
I'm Kevin. I do vocals.
I'm Tom. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Dan. I play keyboard.
I'm Fed. I do the shred thing.
And I'm John. I play bass.
Before Construct Paradise was a thing, I had written Lucid Dream a while ago, just for shits and giggles, and it went from being an 8-string song in drop E to drop G, and then it got re-recorded probably about 4 times, and then the lyrics were written. Essentially, it's about mind awakening, the path to enlightenment. People tend to not believe what they don't see, so that song is basically just describing that thought process of just, analytical belief, I guess you could say.
It has awesome breakdowns. It's a fun song to play, just because we get really good crowd response out of it. It was the first song that we released, so people have known it for a while, and it's kind of like...
I actually remember when we played Point Beach. I think it was the first time we played Point Beach. It was like, yo, you heard a single Lucid Dream? And everyone was, yo!
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was the first experience we ever had of
People
people,
knowing our
crowd
stuff.
engagement. That was pretty cool. Definitely, I would say.
Yeah. Another thing about the song, I also think it's about kind of everybody can think in their own way, but it takes time to be able to listen to your own mind. You have to learn to interpret your dreams sometimes. Take the time to meditate and think about what's happening to you in everyday life too. Follow the signs that are coming to you.
Follow the signs. Prod Kids. That song was about an old man gaining gaining knowledge of the earth through a crystal ball. It was actually funny when I had the full instrumental tracked after me and Tom had gone to Chris Wiseman at Prodigious Recordings. I was listening to the instrumental in my car on the way back home, and my friend was like, "Dude, I just had this mental image of this old wizard gaining knowledge of the earth," and he was like, "You should call it Crystal Contemplations." And I was like, "All right, bro, Kevin Pettigrew named that song."
He has a lot of crystals and
Yeah,
rocks
he-
and
Actually, I don't
stuff
even think
that
we tracked that at Chris's house. Did we track that in his dorm at UConn?
Yep.
Yeah, we tracked that at his dorm at UConn.
Yep, straight up.
Yeah, so Crystal Contemplations is fun. One of those songs where just listening to the lyrics, everybody kind of has their own interpretation of it. And but it's kind of, when it was written lyrically, it was more based on a music video idea that we had just assumed might fall into place really well. Like Kevin was saying, just kind of about a wizard who has this power to see what's
it's a
going on in
story-driven
the
song.
world, and just kind of how he's got all this access, and just wondering why people are doing things that they're doing, and just trying to help them indirectly.
That was actually
And the
funny.
chorus is in 3/4, so we're super prog.
Yeah, super prog, time signature change.
We jerk off in polyrhythm, so.
Yeah. I believe, the general consensus of the song, it's a little bit more fast-paced. It's a little bit more on the metalcore side, too. It was very, riffy-oriented. Most of our EP was, to be honest, freestyled in the studio. It wasn't really pre-written. We kind of just went in there with, a riff, and then, the rest of the song just came together. But New Design was one of my favorites because the lyrics are, you can take it many different ways, but personally, I believe that the lyrics to New Design are more specific to people that are in society nowadays, this new generation, how people are so close-minded, pop culture, materialistic, all of the above. Anything that they see on TV and trends, Dat Boy and all those fucking stupid memes and shit, that's pretty much what it's explaining, is that whole mindset. Politics, politricks, everything is just all a show for people to be distracted, divide and conquer, and that's essentially the concept of the song.
And I know, because I know that was actually the only lyrics that I wrote that made it onto the EP. And when I wrote the lyrics, it was actually me coming out of a really not so cool point in my life. I was going through a lot of changes, and I thought the idea of people being, word this, kind of going back to how it's being taken many different ways. It's kind of almost overcoming a power that's in your life, or a negative power that's in your life, and just pushing through it, overcoming.
Some of the lyrics are about how like the character in the song is, I guess, just kind of sick of where he is, sick of the ignorance he sees around him, how like people are just becoming drone-like in society and not like, I don't know, following any kind of natural path. And it's upsetting to him, and he wants to get away from that as far as he can.
Yeah, we're pretty big on like story-driven lyrics, so.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just really an interpretation.
Yeah,
of it.
like I said, you could take the
A lot
song.
of-
You can take the song in so many different directions.
Yeah. A lot of our songs, we try to keep some of the lyrics a little hazy, give people a chance to interpret it for themselves.
I mean, that's art. Music is art. You know, you want people to take their own, their own idea from it. Go from there.
The concept of the song from start to end is a couple were in a car accident, and the female of the relationship, she passed away, and the male was stuck in a coma, and he was living his life through his coma. It was like a fake, representation of him in the hospital bed, but what he saw was his everyday life. And that woman, he remembered her in his subconscious, and she would show up in his memories and everything, but he didn't know who she was. And then towards the end of the song, I can see you in the mirror, I can feel your presence close behind, I can see us at the altar with you standing by my side. That was pretty much when he actually passed away, and he got to actually see her in the afterlife, and they, got to continue on their relationship in the afterlife. That song is kind of big because we used a lot of obscure chord choices. We used a lot of, random. The whole song was random. I mean, that chug pattern where the freaking you see me here, that I literally pulled that chug pattern out of my ass. Like, I did not. We were like, what do we do here? And I was like, dude, give me a metronome. Da 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 da. So,
that was so sick too, because when you actually tracked that in the studio, I think you did the whole thing perfectly in one take.
Yeah.
Which I was like, damn.
yeah.
Sick.
And then Matt over here came up with some cool lyrics to fit behind that. So
Yep. Matt,
definitely
that was
some of-
definitely.
I spent at least 2 hours writing lyrics to that one little chug pattern.
That was my favorite part of the whole song.
That was,
And even like when we play that live too, like, cause like that part where everybody comes in, I don't know who you are. We do that live. We give the crowd the mic, and it's sick. That's probably one of my favorite songs to play live, just for that.
And Fed solo.
Oh
And,
yeah,
yeah.
no Feds. That because actually when we were in the studio with that song, Feds had just joined our band, and he's like, yeah, dude, this song needs a solo, and he just rips the solo. Like
It was like an hour.
yeah,
We gave him an hour, and he just like redid a bunch of leads, and then wrote the solo. We were just like,
That was one of the 2 songs off the EP that I got to write leads and do solos over. So, yeah.
Yeah, we
and now his family, dude. He's
Yeah.
actually been with us for over a year now, so
Yeah.
we're gonna keep him, I think.
might as well. There's no return policy for
Stay
him.
for a little bit.
No refund. We were supposed to go to South Carolina, and we went through a situation where we ended up having to scrap all of our old material and start scratch a week before going to Truphonic Studios in South Carolina. We were completely unprepared. I went out and bought your laptop. We took your laptop.
Yeah.
And me and Tom learned how to record and to write songs within 5 days. We wrote 6 songs, and Personal Vendetta was the only one that we had written that we took, and that song is actually about that situation.
Yeah.
But, that's personal to us. What the song is meant for is for anybody that goes through a situation that, drug addiction, family members that have drug addictions,
A barrier.
being bullied, any
Fight
type,
for.
yeah, exactly, a barrier. Any type of barrier that you come across in your life, it's just a song to push you through it and just have you understand the lyrics. Like all the bullshit that we go through as human beings, there's obviously a way to look at it.
There are other people going through it with you, so
Yeah,
you're not alone. We all go through it.
Yeah, pretty much. That song is just an uplifting, the cliche metal song.
Yeah, the cliche.
Help you get through
We're
the
here
day.
with you, but no, it's true though.
And I think as far as, beyond the lyrics, just like the way that the song came out on
Yeah.
the EP, that's a song that we don't play too much live, at least at this point. Just for the sake that people didn't hear it, we kind of been working on it back and forth. We wanted to make sure it was as good as it's going to get before we're kind of throwing it out there for everybody to find out. And
Definitely
when
wanna
it
make
came
it-
back on the EP, I know it's my favorite song. It's got
Yeah.
the greatest instrumentals. Out of any song we have, like a solid minute gap that you could take from anything. Like that's it in Personal Vendetta. I know Feds agrees with me.
Yeah,
Personal
Our band-
Vendetta
Vendetta is the
is
best song.
Personal Vendetta is
we
my
love
favorite
that
song
song.
too because it was the second song that I got to be able to write on Construct Paradise. Construct Paradise is definitely a project that I'm really appreciative of being into. I live the furthest away from any member of the band, so I have to get my
Drive
butt
2
over
hours
here.
for practice every week.
And I got to write on Haunt Me and Personal Vendetta, and I wrote the intro and outro solos in Haunt Me as well as Personal. So Personal is definitely a personal song. It's got really awesome lyrics
Clean
and
solo.
really cool
That's
solos.
that's
Clean
fun to play
solo
live.
into
too.
Personal
Great
Vendetta
sound,
is
just
also
love
different because we feature a solo that's in a clean tuning,
Tone.
or tone, I should
Tone.
say. Sorry,
Yeah,
not tuning.
Yeah.
Tone. So that was cool to hear that, and I guess
That's probably like the
Shadow-
most
Goes
standout
directly into an amazing breakdown that
Yeah.
changes every single time we play it. And that's the fun thing about writing is that we'll throw something down and one person will be like, this is great, and everyone hears it and they're like, hell yeah. And then we sit back and go, wait, we actually have to learn how to play this now.
Yeah.
And that's
We do
I
it,
mean,
though.
for me at least, I will sit in my car, I'll play something over and over again, and I learn songs by going pop, 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 da, 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 da,
That's how we write
and
songs,
that's
too.
and that's how I would do it with my mouth, and I'm like,
Dude, my
do
favorite-
it. I hear it, and
Yeah.
I do it with my mouth, dude.
My favorite thing ever is when Federico, we were teaching Federico how to play the songs in the basement of my house.
Yeah.
Tom and Fed did not say words to each other. They were just like, and then Fed was like, and they would just go back and forth for hours, like
Those are
just
fun
like
days.
guitar talk.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah,
so sick.
guitar talk.
Me
Yeah.
and Feds actually don't even talk to each other. We just like play notes and have conversations that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, once you understand gent music theory, you understand life.
Gent music theory.
Does it gent?
They should make like college courses about that.
Oh
so
yeah,
gent-
just
Prog
so everyone
101.
knows, gent
Prague 101.
is not a genre. It's
Dan, no, cut that off. Don't let Dan say that. Cut it right.
I just like that weird style of progressive writing, like where it's just randomosity and
And beef.
Yeah, it's just so heavy. So
'Cause
that's
that was
the
it.
only that's the only 8-string song on the album. And I went into the studio with Chris, and we sat down and we just wrote
Yeah,
the
that was
heaviest
that
song
was
we
all.
have on the album. And the lyrical content, because my buddy is, I'm friends with Chris and Ben, so we had Chris do the guitar feature on Lucid and Ben do the guest vocal spot on Citadels. Ben Dwyer. And what's it called? That song is about pretty much. It's a story-based song as well. It's about, I remember when I was listening to the instrumental back and forth, the way that I write lyrics is I imagine like a GIF image where it's like, the way I saw it was a man on a street reaching down for something and looking up, and there's a tower with like UFOs flying around it in like a red, like, sepia tone background or whatever. And I wrote the song about humanity calling aliens, down to help restore faith to the world, and it ended up just enslaving us. And my parts are being, told from the humanities aspect of the situation, and Ben's part is the aliens talking shit to us. So, the dichotomy of the lyrical content was pretty cool just to like throw that on the album. So it was
So-
kind of a bonus track. We just did it for
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah, we
to be
actually it
honest.
almost didn't make it onto
Yeah.
the EP,
Yeah,
but
it
we're like,
almost-
no, we
It
need
was
the F
very
guard.
different sounding than the rest of the songs.
Yeah.
So because of that, we were worried, should it belong? But we figured it became such a popular song for us to play live, and
We're just like
it was
fuck it.
heavier. A lot of the shows we were playing were with bands that did lower tunings also.
yeah, we were
so
playing with, like,
we,
In-Depths and Tide.
we did meet a good medium with that song with other bands we played, so it's another reason why that song
Yeah.
became very popular. So we figured it definitely deserved a spot on the EP, even though it was different and in a different tuning.
Yeah.
Plus Ben fucking killed it.
And
Yeah.
I also like has a lot of like interesting timing in some parts that you don't see in a lot of our other songs, which I really
Yep.
like. It's definitely a little more complex.
Definitely
the
like
hardest song.
structurally.
Like-
So,
definitely-
I like
definitely
it.
the hardest song.
Like
for
like
us.
in a lot of songs off the EP, DB has a lot of piano parts that accentuate a lot of the guitar riffs we create and drum passages. And especially in Citadel, you can really tell where Dan shines. It almost sounds like you're crafting some sort of like little mini world when you hear Dan's keys.
Yep.
So it's really cool.
He's in his own world.
I love it when Dan characterizes the tracks. Honestly, your parts bring a new life.
Bring
because
things to life.
We
are
Construct.
Paradise.
Stay
tuned.
perfect. That was. There's no other way.
stay tuned.
Yeah, but it's fun because I'm recording the first one.
Wait, can I see that?